Business leaders and intellectual business community, we go to the second segment of CEO Reference. Today we talk about the 4 classic traps of innovations by Dr. Rosabeth Moskanter, and our resource person today is Dr. Hitendra Patel, who is the director of the Center for Innovations, Excellence and Leadership, or IXL, in Massachusetts. So Dr. Patel, back to my questions. According to you, should new ideas be screened for the potential business before it work out to be the to be included in the innovation process? What do you think?
Sure. One of the challenges is people selecting ideas too early. Because when people have an idea, it requires time for people to understand what that idea is, to understand what the market might be, what technology could be. So if you look at an idea too early, you'll probably say it's a bad idea, you'll kill it.
All right.
So you've got to give ideas time to get a little bit more robust.
All right.
So during this time, you're not actually investing in the idea. What you're actually saying is you're allowing ideas to incubate. And when you allow ideas to incubate, it's not a big investment of cash or people's time. So I do encourage the idea that you should let a lot of ideas percolate and survive, because this is not where your investments are. You make investments when you actually say, let's select an idea to make it into something. That's when you put people and teams together. It gets expensive. It gets expensive very quickly. So at that point, you do want to put criteria at the selection process. And this criteria should be still fairly flexible. It shouldn't be so stringent to say, will it give me $2 billion? Because ideas take time to build businesses. And so the big issue when I used to work at Motorola was a $40 billion company. So now it's looking for 10 ideas to give 10% revenue growth. That's $4 billion. That's what the ideas are supposed to do. But if anybody knows of any company which grew in 2 years to become 4 billion, then it makes sense to you that this is a bad criteria. So what you're looking for is to invest in about 5 or 10 ideas who over time will compete and survive.
All right.
And some of them will become $200 million businesses. And then later, 5 or 8 years later, they can become 2 billion. So the idea here is not to invest in everything. You need to select ideas. Your criteria must be flexible enough to recognize that you don't have all the information.
But on the other side of flexible enough, it means you are not focused to do maybe those potential ideas. I mean, if you're so flexible that any ideas you elaborate, you discuss it, you put more time on it, that means that of course resources always limited. That it means that you have less time to those who are the potential ideas. What do you think?
Yeah, so you're right. What you have to accept is you have a portfolio of ideas that you can invest into, and you got a fixed amount of resource allocation which you can put against that portfolio. Right? You don't want that portfolio having too many ideas, but you do need a certain number of ideas in there, because there's the inherent risk in innovation. If you look at a venture capitalist portfolio of ideas, they usually have 10 ideas they're investing in, and they know 7 of them are going to fail. But they know that as they fail, you learn, and you apply the knowledge of learning to the other ideas, right? And on the 3, maybe 1 or 2 will do very well. This is what Motorola did. They invested in 10 big ideas, of which 1 was a cell phone.
All right.
And the cell phone worked. The Iridium satellite program did not work. So you do have to have a portfolio. But in your portfolio, you must have a definition of how much money you're going to invest into it, and what can you afford. So what I'm encouraging is, don't do too many.
Right.
But don't do too few either. If you do too few, you may fail on all of them.
Okay.
And so there's a risk that you got to manage in here, and that's why you use portfolios.
So the key is you have to determine how many projects or how many ideas you want to work on, then you select that based on let's say marketability, or based on the potential.
Yeah, and here I would even encourage you to think of it as a portfolio where maybe 1/3 of your portfolio are easy things that you know how to do, and you can take to the market easily. So you get some results.
Yes.
Another 1/3 are ones which are somewhat difficult for you to do, and you have to maybe partner with some other company or something else. And another 1/3 might be really difficult to do.
All right.
such that you have a portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
and out of the portfolio you get a pipeline, and
Mhm.
over time the easy ones come out earlier,
Mhm.
but certainly you get a flow of incremental and breakthrough ideas in parallel.
Okay, that's what's called the portfolio of innovation.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Patel, we have heard many strategy about innovations. Say some of them, the blue ocean strategy, the disruptive innovation strategy from Clayton Christensen, and many other also writers and professors writing about the strategy of innovations. Actually, according to you, because some thoughts might be the same thought but different title,
Sure.
right? According to you, actually, how many types of innovation strategy?
I think fundamentally there is just one.
There's just one.
Yeah, and,
What is
and,
that?
and the idea here is you need to find new places to play, and you need to define how you will win.
All right.
And so where to play,
Uh-huh.
it must be an attractive place,
Uh-huh.
and how to win.
So you determine your play field,
That's right.
and then you
Put the strategy in place on how you
Uh-huh.
can win.
Uh-huh.
And that is the innovation, that if you find that space and you find how to win, you will create a unique differentiated strategy that others cannot follow.
all right.
Right? And this is not so different from what Michael Porter talks about.
So, do you think that people said it's been big innovations? Do you think big innovations such as Viagra, of course you know Viagra, maybe you have a personal experience, or Walkman, yeah, those products are considered as big innovations. Do you think that these products follow that the strategy that you mentioned?
When you look at Viagra, it was at Pfizer, and they were working on heart disease,
Mhm.
right? And the patients were taking the medicine to see if it would work to make the increase of blood flow
Exactly.
in the heart. And they found that there were some side effects.
Exactly.
Right? And the men were probably pretty happy with the side effects.
Yep.
And they observed it. Now, in most companies, when that is observed, they would call that a failure.
Right.
Because they were saying they were working on a heart,
Uh-huh.
and it was not having the benefit to the heart.
Exactly.
Now, at Pfizer, they said, what else can we do with this? Is there a market,
Mhm.
an attractive place to play with this
Mhm.
particular opportunity? And there's a big market of men over the certain age who have difficulty
Mhm.
in sexuality. And they said, can we win? And they said, yeah, we can. We can actually get this to the market through pharmacists and through doctors and market it correctly. So, did they do the right thing? Yes, they found where to play and how to win. Same thing with the Sony Walkman. Two guys. They walked around with pieces on their head saying one day people will walk with music with headphones on their ears. And they identified, was there a market?
Mhm.
And could they win with it?
Mhm.
So once you answer those two questions, where to play and how to win, with the innovation, you do succeed. But what is the difficult thing in the examples that you gave, in most companies those innovations would have been killed because they did not fit in into the narrow boundaries of what an operation of a company is. When Michael Porter talks about strategy, he says afterwards you got to focus. That very focus would have said don't do Viagra
Mhm.
and don't do the Sony Walkman.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I don't think Michael Porter actually says focus, focus, focus. He says focus on your strategy, but provide space to look around,
Uh-huh.
right? And if you look around, if you see an opportunity, where to play and how to win, then consider integrating it into your next strategy for the following year.
Yeah, what I mean is that all this innovation strategy is aimed at, having programmed innovation that can be programmed,
Mhm.
But these products, they are what we call it lucky product or serendipity products.
Right.
That these kind of products that has big hits in the market, but those programmed innovations might not be as a breakthrough program because it is it's just like having broiler chicken. You grew up the chicken in a farm. You cannot get special chicken because you grew it like that. Unless you go to the forest and find exotic type of chicken, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, but if it is a programmed one, it might not be having that fantastic big hits products. But before we continue that, again, we have to have a break for the this segment, and for the business leaders and intellectual business community, you can participate also in these discussions by sending text to 0896 times 089999990788 to send your questions, to send your let's say comments, to send your ideas about innovations, and the participants who are selected will be receiving this book, Innovation to the Core, by Harvard Business Press. So again, business leaders and intellectual business community, we are talking about innovations, and innovation is very important in the company and this, you know, in the business world. If you don't innovate, you just imitate. You can choose whether you want to innovate, you can, or you want to imitate. Imitate is also something you can work on, but usually it's tougher rather than you have a new product, innovate a product that you have no competitions. It's, you know, you can get more profit, you can be doing the business, yeah, let's say more prestigiously, you know, and you may feel, you know, you have your pride that I have my own products. But if you imitate, maybe the pride is not that high, but you can still have business. But remember, it will be very competitive business. Okay, we'll go to the third segment after this break.